Hello everyone, welcome to Sentence Diagramming 101. This video goes over exercise 7D and we're going to deal with some compound complex sentences, meaning I'm going to need a lot of room. So let's jump right in with number one. So we have after Neo meets Trinity, all right, for the first time. So we know that's our subordinating conjunction after. So we have Neo meets Trinity when for the first time, so that's adverbing. He wonders, and what does he wonder? Oh, this whole thing, right? If he should trust her. So another subordinated conjunction. He should trust her. So there's my independent, or my dependent, acting as a noun clause in the middle of my independent clause. And then I have an additional, wait for it, he eventually does. So I've got subject, intransitive verb, eventually telling me where. All right, now the tricky part is to figure out what goes first. Independent clauses go before dependent clauses. So we are going to skip after Neo meets Trinity for the first time. We're going to start with he wonders if he should trust her, because that is our independent clause. So he wonders, and then my direct object is a noun clause. He wonders if, we'll just throw that there. He should trust what? Her. And then, okay, after, I'm going to need some room here. This is kind of fun. So, Neo meets Trinity. And after they meet for the time, it is the time, it's the first time. That's my cat. Wonders after, there we go. Then he wonders if he should trust her. Dependent clause goes underneath, but now I have the rest of my compoundness. So I'm going to have a separate one. That is my cat telling me that he's angry because the dog ate all of his food and there was none left for him. Terrible. Poor cat is just fading away to nothing. All right, he wonders. But he does. Now, when you have compound complex sentences, you may end up with stuff like this, where you just have to make your lines longer and weird, but make it fit. And again, this one's on top because it's the independent clause in the first sentence. This is on the bottom because it's the independent clause in the second part. And this is a dependent clause that is attached to that first independent clause. That's why it goes underneath like that. All right, let's practice some more of these. More space, yay! Okay, so Agent Smith comes to get Neo at work, and even though Morpheus tries to help Neo escape, Neo gets captured. All right, what are we looking at here? Whew, okay, so Agent Smith, he's gonna come, he's gonna come to get Neo at work, So that's the thing he comes to do, right, to get him. And coordinating conjunction, even though Morpheus tries to help. Now this gets weird. We're like, and dependent clause, subordinating conjunction, subject, he tries. What does he try? Oh, he tries to help. Neo escapes, that whole thing, direct object. And then we have our independent clause, second part of that compound, Neo gets captured. Okay, so let's start with the Agent Smith. So we know Agent Smith, he comes, where does he come? He comes to get Neo. And to get him, he comes, to get Neo at work. He comes to work now. He gets Neo because Neo's at work. All right, gets Neo at work. And, and, okay, now what? And Neo gets captured. So we always, remember, you got to flip it. When you have that dependent clause first, you ignore it for the moment and put the independent clause on top. And then we have an even though Morpheus tries to help Neo escape. So we have Morpheus. What is he doing? He's trying to do a thing. He's trying to help Neo. Ooh, he's trying to help him escape. And there we go. And then even though, just kidding. Even though. All right. So independent clause, dependent clause. So right, we got independent, dependent. All right, when Neo is caught, dependent clause. He doesn't know the reason. Well, he does know. Adverb. He doesn't know reason. So, right, that's my first whole sentence. And then coordinated conjunction. He, subject, tries. What does he try? He tries to remain confident. So that's my direct object. Happens to be an infinitive. Oh, and then we have Neo is caught. So I start with my first independent clause, which is going to be he doesn't know the reason. Or he does know reason, right? He does know reason. Which reason? The reason. I'm going to jam this on the side here. Is caught. And when, now I have room to kind of do the rest. But what? He tries. And what does he try? He tries to remain, and then he's remaining confident. All right. Number 3 down. Moving on to number 4. Morpheus believes. And while Neo doesn't believe, he gives Trinity a reason to believe. So much believing in that sense. Okay. So we have a Morpheus believes. And then this is our whole second, right? Independent clause, but it has a dependent in there. So while Neo doesn't believe, and then he gives, what does he give? He gives the reason. He gives that reason to Trinity, and which reason is it? It's a reason to believe, so it's an adjective. And then Neo doesn't believe with an adverb. So much believing. Okay, so let's start at the top. We got Morpheus believes. And now we always start with the independent on this one. So he gives Trinity. A reason. It's a reason to believe. Because remember, your infinitive phrases can do anything, including being adjectives and adverbs. So which reason? The reason to believe. Okay, and then he does that while he doesn't believe. While. Okay. Is there more believing? No. Okay. Neo visits the oracle. So Neo visits oracle, part 1. Once, subordinated conjunction, Morpheus thinks. And what does Morpheus think? Oh, that it is time. So we got a little dependent clause action happening here. It is time. And the oracle tells, she tells it to him, but she tells him what he needs to hear. So that he needs, and then what does he need? He needs to hear. So that's my direct object. Okay. So we'll start at the top. We've got Neo visits the oracle. And then when does he visit? He visits once Morpheus thinks. And what does Morpheus think? He thinks that it is time. Okay. He thinks that once, right? Once he visits, once Morpheus thinks. Okay, then, oh man. Now, kind of messed myself up here in terms of space, so I kind of need to do one of these. Visits, whoo, I'll have to space that better next time I do it. And, what else? Oh, and the oracle. And then what does she do? She tells Neo, and then what does she tell Neo? She tells him he needs, and then what does he need? He needs, alright, so this right here is this right here. He needs to hear, and then to hear what? So that, whoosh, goes over there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I guess I could have done something like the main one here, the second one over here, and then that one over here. and then done like my my butt, or my and, sorry, would have been better. And then if I somehow did a once on that side, I guess I could have made better spacing choices. I don't know. Let's try it again on number 6 and see if it goes any better. This is why sometimes you do this in pencil. Or you plan better than I did on that one. Okay, Morpheus is kidnapped. Okay, so Morpheus is kidnapped. And then, when his friend betrays him. So that is a subordinated conjunction. We've got the friend, and then the friend betrays him. And Neo needs, and then what does Neo need? He needs to consider all of the things. So this is going to be a good time. So that whole thing's the direct object, but it's going to be at the bottom, and I'm going to give myself lots of room. Okay, so I'm going to kind of center my Morpheus a little bit better here. All right, so Morpheus is kidnapped. He's kidnapped when, not his, just kidding. His is an adjective. His friend betrays him. Okay. And then I'm going to go and then do a when there, which leaves me lots of room to do this next monster sentence. Okay, so then I have Neo needs, and then what does Neo need? He needs to consider, and then what is the thing he is considering? He's considering this whole thing. What the oracle told him. The oracle told him what? Right. So the oracle told him, because she told what to him? She told what? The oracle told what to him. Yeah. So him is your indirect object there, because he is indirectly being told the what, whatever the what was. So you have noun clause as the object of an infinitive phrase, which is acting as the direct object of the second independent clause in that compound complex sentence. So a lot of stuff happening here. Okay. Moving on to number 7, we have although Neo intends to go alone, so that's a dependent clause. Trinity insists on going. That feels like a phrasal, right? She insists on, and then insists on what? Insists on going. So going is going to be your direct object. Wow, brain freeze. Okay, so insists on, and then going, but going is also a gerund, which is what my brain was trying to frantically think of when it froze. Okay, and then she's going where with him, so adverbing. Okay, so coordinated conjunction, they go both. So they go both is how they go. And then we have this dependent clause over here, so subordinating. And then he intends, and then he intends to go alone. So intends, and then we got a infinitive as my direct object. So we got gerunds, we have infinitives, we have so many things. Okay, so Trinity insists on going with him. That's our first part. So, where'd my pen go? There it is. So we have Trinity insists, and she insists on, that's one of those phrasals, and she insists on going, and then she's going with him. Okay, and then although Neo intends, he's gonna go alone to go, and then he intends to go alone. He's not intending alone, he's going alone. We're just gonna put a little although right there. Okay. So what? They go. But they both go. It ends badly, in case you haven't seen it. Or does it? I don't know. Do you call that a bad ending? The Matrix is involved. Okay. The people who are watching the building stop Trinity when she enters. The people are surprised by her weapons. Okay, so we have people. Which people? The ones who are watching the building. So that's a little adjective clause just right in the middle there. And what do? They stop Trinity, and then they stop her when, subordinated conjunction, she enters. And the people, what, are surprised, and then by her weapons is why. Okay, so this just kind of goes in order, right? So we have the people. You know what, I'm going to deal with the people while we are here who are watching. And what are they watching? They're watching that building. So we have people who, cool. And they stop. They stop what or who? They stop Trinity. And then when do they stop her? When she enters. When. And the people are surprised. And then why are they surprised? By the weapons. Pretty cool scene. Alright, I am going to bounce up and see if we can fit. Yeah, we should be fine. 9 and 10. Okay. Whereas the authors for Smith and Morpheus changed in the 4th installment, Reeves reprised his role and Moss reprised her role. Okay, so this is my dependent clause. So it's going to be actors, and then for Smith and Morpheus changed, and they changed when. So again, a prepositional phrase acting as an adverb, telling me when or where. We have Reeves reprised his role, and Moss reprised her role. Well, that's nice. Okay, so Reeves reprised his role, whereas the actors for Smith and Morpheus changed. So I'm going to have Reeves reprised role, his role. I'm going to throw the whereas off to the side. It's the actors, and it's the actors for, and then, oh, look at that, for Smith and Morpheus, because they were both super busy. They changed, right? And where did they change? They changed in the installment. It was the 4th installment. We need a little whereas. And then we could just Moss reprised her role. It's pretty interesting. All right, the 2nd and 3rd Matrix films. So we have films. Did not receive high praise. Everything else is going to be adjectives or adverbs there. But the 4th did better. So the 4th did. And then better is how it did. So that's an adverb. Oh, possibly. Possibly is just you can treat it as an expletive if you want. Or you could say it's how it did, treat it as an adverb. I guess either one of those would get you there, right? Yeah, it's more adverbing, right? How did it do? Possibly better. Okay. Because that's going to be my next dependent clause, or my first dependent clause, but my next clause. They waited, and then they waited along, and then they waited between movies. Okay. Spacing. How do I want to do this? All right, so I know I'm going to have the film. So it's the films, it's the 2nd, 3rd, and we know this is a compound, so we got to put an and in there. And then there were Matrix films, okay. And they did receive, because we're always positive, and then not praise. And then what kind of praise? High praise. But what? 4th did better. The 4th did better. And it did possibly better. And then we have because why? Because they waited. And what did they wait? Oh, yeah, you could say long is an adverbial adjective because then you've got so long. And then they waited between. Oh, just kidding. I'm going to use my eraser here just because we're at the bottom of the page and I don't have any room. And between the third and fourth. Between, oh, the third. And then what am I missing? Oh, because. Huh? That was a fun one. Yeah, long. I guess you could just say that long is an adverb and then do it that way. Adverb, adverbial adjective. I feel like long's more of an objective here. It's kind of a thing. All right, but we made it through. What is this? 7D. All right, you've diagrammed some compound complex sentences. You are ready to move forward and work on 7R and review this whole chapter.